Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be talking to you about operant conditioning. So what is operant conditioning? So it is a method of learning that employs rewards and punishments for behavior. Through operant conditioning, an association is made between a behavior and a consequence, whether it's positive or negative, for that behavior. So operant conditioning was first described by behaviorist B.F. Skinner. As a behaviorist, Skinner believed that it was not really necessary to look at internal thoughts and motivations in order to explain behavior, and instead he suggested that we look at more external and observable behavior. Early behaviorists focused their interest on associative learning, but Skinner was more interested on the consequences of people's actions and how that influenced their behavior. Skinner used the term operant to refer to any active behavior that operates upon the environment to generate consequences. Skinner's theory explained how we acquire the range of learned behaviors that we exhibit every day. His theory was heavily influenced by the work of psychologist Edward Thorndike, who has proposed what we call the law of effect. And so, according to his principle, actions that are followed by desirable outcomes are more likely to be repeated, while those followed by undesirable outcomes are less likely to be repeated. So operant conditioning relies on pretty much fairly simple premise. Actions that are followed by reinforcement will be strengthened and more likely to occur again in the future. And on the opposite side of that, actions that result in a punishment or an undesirable behavior or undesirable consequences, they will be weakened and less likely to occur again in the future. So respondent behavior versus operant behavior. A respondent behavior is something that's automatic and involuntary, whereas an operant behavior is something that's conscious and learned. So there are 5 principles of operant conditioning, and they are positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, positive punishment, negative punishment, and extinction. An extinction occurs when a response is no longer reinforced or punished. And so this can cause a behavior to go away, the one that was learned. Some examples of operant conditioning would be if you train your dog to fetch by offering him praise and petting him and telling them good job. So whenever they perform this behavior correctly, this is a positive reinforcer. Another example is a professor would tell a student that if they have perfect attendance all semester, then they do not have to take the final exam at the end of the semester. So by removing this unpleasant stimulus, which is the final test, students are negatively reinforced to attend class regularly. Another example would be if you fail to turn in a project or an assignment on time, and your teacher becomes angry and gets on you by your performance in front of your peers, this is acting as a positive punisher, which makes it less likely that you will turn in your future projects and assignments late. Another example would be if a girl does not clean up her room like she was asked, and her parents take away her phone for the rest of the day. This would be a negative punishment in which the positive stimulus is taken away. So in some of these examples, the promise or possibility of rewards causes an increase in behavior. Operant conditioning can also be used to decrease a behavior through the removal of a desirable outcome, or the application of a negative outcome. So an example of this would be a child may be told that they'll lose recess privileges if they talk out or disrupt class. So the potential for punishment may lead to a decrease in the disruptive behaviors. So yeah, that was a little bit about operant conditioning. Thanks for listening.